So is senior night about to disappear from college basketball? For decades, senior night meant something. 4-year players, program guys, like the true program guys, standing ovations, parents on the court, kids crying, coaches crying, parents crying. But in the transfer portal era, how many players are even around long enough for that moment to matter anymore? Is senior night still meaningful, or is it becoming a relic?
I think it was very much a relic. Like, I think of all the SEC games that were doing their senior night on Saturday, we had one senior that had been at their program all 4 years. Like even Tennessee's, you had Carey and Gillespie, who both played at 3 different schools.
Mm-hmm.
Between one and done and transfer portal, this is just like I don't like other than Gillespie's is a little bit different since he came back to his home state, like hometown team. So I get where fans, but like you used to be able to know these guys, like you got to know them. You had some kind of parasocial relationship with them. They meant something to the community. Like Zakai Ziegler is a great one from last year. That was a true
Exactly.
senior night. Like Vescovi before that, like he meant something to that our community and still does. And like every time he shows up, it's a great thing, and like he's a beloved player. But you don't get that with like Carey and Gillespie aren't going to be that. If you can't tell me, like even Dalton Connect, like that dude's a hero, but like he's not really that loved anymore. I mean, he's loved for what he did the 1 year, but not him as a person. Like it's hard to be, and like because you've got guys that have played. AJ Store, like I think he
Yes.
played 5 schools or 5 or 6 schools in his 5 or 6 years.
Yeah. I mean, and at this point too, I mean, senior night, it does mess up your flow of and your rhythm of your routine. You start out the game. So I mean, I understand the importance of it, but I just don't think it just doesn't mean anything anymore. And obviously I hate that, but
Yeah,
it's just the reality of the game. But I will say about Dalton Connect is that as great as he was, you make a good point because I was going to start to disagree and say, he's one of us, and I think most people would consider him that to be one of us, but you don't hear about him like you don't hear local natural radio covering Lakers games.
yeah. I mean, like each school should do it if they've got guys. Like if you are, I don't know, like with Duke, if Evans and Agumba and like Foster and them end up being there for 4 years, do it. But you don't do it because you brought
Sure.
in so and so from Ivy League. Like Florida this year, you should probably do it because I think Chinulu and those guys like that matters. But you can't tell me there's a soul at Kentucky that maybe Owe, but he's not a senior yet. But like there's not a soul there that
Right.
your night's going to mean anything, or like Carolina or any of those places because like Vesser came from Arizona, Kai and Evans came from Colorado State. Like who are we celebrating here? Like guys that transferred in and had a decent year that takes the importance of the moment away. Like I said, it throws off the vibe, throws off because you get lineups that aren't actually going to be played out there. You get a guy starting that may not actually need to start, like in
Hmm.
important games. Because a lot of games we covered this in the last episode. A lot of these games on Saturday were extremely important in terms of seating and
Yep.
things like that, and like that screws with stuff. I mean, like Purdue, you had a senior night with the guys you should have, and then I didn't catch it if Oscar Clough was involved in that. But he was there for one disappointing year. Do you
Hmm.
really need it for him? Like it should be something. I remember when I was going through about team camps and stuff in high school, and we went to Duke's, and they do this whole thing for anybody that plays there 4 years. Like there was this whole like highlight clip package they put together, and they put together this whole film of like doing interviews of people talking about you, and it's just like a really cool thing gift you get of like all this stuff along with a bunch of other things. But like that means something. So if you've like played there for like you can do that kind of stuff. But like now it's I don't know. Senior night's kind of not it's not anything. You're celebrating guys that maybe were there at your university for 6 months.
Well, and Alex Caravan may be the last of the long
Yeah,
term guys. I mean, he's what the winningest Husky in history
yeah. Like
or something
yeah,
like that.
I think he passed Kimba a game or two ago,
Hmm.
which is crazy to think about.
It is insane to think about, but you know, he means so much to to that program. He deserves. It needs to be. That should have been just Caravan night. No disrespect to the others, but which I don't think there were any other. Well, Terrace Reed,
The solo ball, I can't remember.
he's a junior.
He's junior. Yeah,
Yeah, but yeah, no, I think it is going to the wayside. I don't know. I bet some teams. It just takes one team to not do it. and then
Yeah.
it'll start trickling through. So we've got, and our first game we're going to getting to is Wisconsin at Purdue. Sam's not able to join us tonight, but he's still mourning. But
Being a sore loser.
yeah, being a sore loser. But Purdue's defense, it is a fatal flaw at this point.
It's not a question anymore.
No,
It's just like you've got a team that can't guard anybody and a coach that's not doing anything to help them. And I don't know, like it's hard to tell with coaching, especially on defense, if he's just being figured out and he's not putting his guys in, and like their defensive sets and what they're running and what they want to do have been so figured out that the offense, like other opposing coaches, have figured it out, or if his messages are just being ignored and the guys aren't doing what he's telling them to do. So like it's always hard to tell with that, but there is nothing good going on defensively for Purdue right now.
no, and it doesn't seem the chemistry seems off. I mean, they just seem like they just want it to be over.
Yeah, and I mean some numbers to throw on this. Like they're down to 39th in Ken Palm in defense efficiency, and you can't, well, especially with the route teams are going right now. That's not going to get you anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Too many teams are too good offensively, and good offense will beat good defense every day of the week. So you're already at a disadvantage, and then having your defense struggle, not good. And then, I mean, in their last 6, they've gone 2-4 in their last 6. They're giving up 79 points a game. And if you take out the 2 wins, you just look at the 4 losses, because the 2 wins were against nobodies. It's 86, almost 87 points a game. The guards can't stay in front of anybody. Rotations are not getting there. And then you've got 2 big guys that can guard anybody on the perimeter. So that's putting everything at such a like hard move that you've got to be really quick on your rotations, and your guards are already not good enough defensively. So when they're trying to cover in rotations, it's not going well. Nothing off the bench. This is, I think this is bad. I think this is set up for a real rough opening weekend.
They mentioned it last episode about the lack of athleticism that this Purdue team has. It's not like they lost athleticism. This team is what we've expected for this year. I feel like that's something that you can't hang your hat on as being a problem for this Purdue team. You can say it's a problem, but you can't say it's the reason why they are where they're at.
Well, being a great athlete will cover up some flaws, right?
Sure.
So if I'm not in the best defensive position, but I am the quickest guy on the steps, I can recover. So every flaw is being magnified. So when Foster lawyer is out there and he can't stay in front of somebody, he's not athletic enough to recover. So then that forces your big guy into rotation, and then that's if the other big guy's not quick enough or your offside guard's not quick enough to cover the next pass, it's an easy bucket. And the same thing with having Oscar Clough go out there. You don't have an athletic big guy to, and that's who's getting drug out into all those high pick and rolls. Is like, hey, we know this guy has to play drop coverage, and so they're putting him in a position with a big guy that can shoot, and now you can't cover because he can't stay with the guard over the pick and roll, and he can't recover back fast enough. So it's like that's where the lack of athleticism hurts. It reduces your ability to mask anything, and it's that like, and that's an easy. So, realistically, that is something that you should be able to diagnose in the offseason. And there was plenty of guys out there, and he chose not to, thinking whatever he had was good enough. And obviously, swing and a miss there. Like that's the kind of stuff that where Painter's struggling. Like that Final Four team, Lance Jones was a huge role because he was that athlete that helped on both sides of the ball. Where he made up plays. Like you also had Zach Edey, but you had that guy he hit some massive threes from way deep because he could get his own shot, and it's not happening right now. So sometimes it does, and you can see this like in this 4-2 stretch that 2-4 stretch that they've gone on. The 2 wins are against teams that are drastically undervalued, right? Like Indiana and Northwestern, both those teams not that good, and they're not that athletic. But the 4 losses, you go Michigan, like Michigan had it up at 20 at times too. So like that, and this was in Mackey, like they couldn't keep up. The same thing, Ohio State had some athletes that they couldn't catch, and then Wisconsin even they couldn't stay in front of anybody. The offense isn't struggling; they're good enough offense. They're smart enough. Like I said, good offense will beat good defense any day of the week. But you're giving up 97 points to Wisconsin team. I mean, 66 to Northwestern isn't bad, but I mean 82 and 76 to Michigan State and Ohio State, not going well, and it's really limiting the ceiling of this team. Like I think the ceiling of this team is now Sweet 16 at best. When they came in was the
Agreed.
preseason overall, and you were thinking national title. Like it's.
Yeah,
I think if they run into one of those top 16 teams in the Sweet 16, they're going to get roasted.
yeah. I think Sweet 16 is the ceiling. But one thing, I just want to mention this too. Give kudos to Wisconsin. I mean, they played well. I mean, honestly, they played pretty damn well.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
That's what I'm saying. Like you've got to play good to beat this Purdue team because their offense is so good and so.
yeah,
But the thing that is holding them back is their defense. This Wisconsin team has some of the craziest win. They were the first team to beat Michigan. They got Illinois. They beat Michigan State. But like they got Iowa, and now they got Purdue. Like it's like they've got the same kind of thing as Missouri, except they finished a little bit better than Missouri did.
right. Yes. Oh, that's a great point. Very good point. Speaking of the SEC, we had Vanderbilt at Tennessee. Vanderbilt getting the dub. Oh man, just a brutal loss. Unfortunate loss. Couldn't put a string of events to be to get ourselves in a position to win. Vanderbilt did play well, but Tennessee played pretty damn bad.
I mean, so
Turned the ball over. Didn't take care of the ball. If you wanted a basketball that night, Tennessee would give it to you.
so like what I've been reading there is that we had the flu going around and guys are taking IVs at the sideline. But that's not an excuse to like Gillespie, 1 of 11 from deep. Dude, what are you doing shooting that many? If you're that cold, Carey couldn't score. Like,
Exactly.
buddy, what happened there? I mean, luckily Evans brought this game out of nowhere. The first time I think he's been in double figures in a long time, and
Yeah.
he scored 24 points. Without him, we're probably beat by 100. He's the only one showing up, and it's unacceptable. Same old story. This Tennessee team. I think we're going to be lucky to escape the first round. We don't have the benefit of Purdue, where they're going to have a low enough seed that we're going to be able to like kind of get away with a bad game. We're
Mhm.
going to get a very solid mid-major team to possibly a play-in power team that can absolutely take us apart. I'm going to have to get a little bit lucky to get anything of value in this tournament because, like I said, turnovers have been an issue all year. Offense, because this offense has been an issue all year, and the things that past Tennessee teams that were able to mask that had these ultra elite defenses. Not this year. Like
No.
Tennessee is struggling, not struggling defense. They're still very solid defensively, but instead of being top 5, top 3, they're top 15 and the gap there is so hard to make up. And I mean, you can say, "Oh, but there was no Nate Mint, and that changed the offense." And like he'd been playing so well, you're at home. You should be able to do. Boswell should have been able to do better. Gillespie should have been doing better. Okpara, where did this aggressiveness go? Like you had 8 points and you shot very very well, but it was like you weren't looking for the ball or demanding it at all.
Mhm.
Like offense, man, I need you to be like, especially on a men's con, you've got to be aggressive. You've got to demand that ball. I know you don't have a great back to the bucket game, but like you are athletic enough that we should be able to use you on pick and rolls, and you're tall and have a giant wingspan and can jump. Like we should be able to use you around the bucket, and you're not. It's like you're not looking for it.
Right. Yeah. And I feel like too that this is the first time in the Barnes where we're somebody that teams want to get paired up with. Like I think there's quite a few of those mid major teams that are probably chomping at the bit. They're hoping they get Tennessee,
You know,
which is a really unfortunate feeling.
this team feels Jared Springer like they
No,
uh,
yeah,
got to beat by Oregon State.
yes,
We're bragging about this offensive talent, that NBA talent that we had on the team, and all year, and showed flashes of it, and then they get upset by a team that didn't deserve to be in the tournament. We're set up to be that team where we have got the talent, but the defense isn't there like it was, like it was that year, and we don't have the offensive ability to cover it. Maybe Amit makes that much of a difference, and we can win a game or two with him, but the same time, the same point that we just brought up with Purdue, to get it past that Sweet 16 mark, you've got to do something. Like this year, there's way too much talent out there for you to skate by. So you're going to have to get hot and get lucky. And I've not seen this Tennessee team get hot once this year for more than 20 minutes. And that
no.
you're going to need more than that to get there.
And so moving up north, Oh gosh, Michigan's still doing Michigan things. I mean, are they the best team in the Big Ten officially?
I don't know that there's any debate there.
Yeah,
But I think the thing that kind of shocked me a bit was how this showed up once again how deep they are. And we kind of forgot about it a little bit. But Mara played
yeah,
terribly. I don't know if he got hurt or what, but he did not have a great game. I think 4 points
no,
in 19 minutes, but you got 29 points off the bench. You shot the ball well. Your shooting came off, and I mean, you lost LJ Kaysen, who was a big part of your bench, who was coming up there big, and guys stepped up. I mean, yeah, Yaxel and Jones Jr., you know what you're getting there, and I mean, they were absolutely impressive. Like I said, I'm going to pat myself on the back. I told you, double digits, win by 10. They did everything better. Like I said, that Michigan State wanted to do, they did it better. Michigan State was not a great matchup here. But this is like, you worry a little bit with the flaws here with Cadeau and Barnett not really scoring that much and not doing that
hmm
well. Like, when I say you worry with the flaws, we're talking Elite Eight, Final Four. That's where this will show up.
hmm
And it's what showed up in the Duke game, and like how they solve that. That's going to be a big ask. But they've got big. But you're going to have to be an ultra talented team with the big front line to get through them. So to even make those flaws matter, so that this is a very very good Michigan State team that has maybe two or three teams out there that can beat them without just getting unreal hot.
yeah. I mean, and really, Michigan kind of beat Michigan State at their own style,
Yeah,
um, which is feel like that's super impressive. There's not a lot of teams that can beat you at your game or theirs. That says a lot about them.
awesome. Like, but at the same time, the biggest issue here is I've yet to see anything. I know it's just the game finished up earlier today about Fears being suspended. Like, now we're now going fourth or fifth game where we've got of the year, we've got some kind of incident that's being reviewed and coming up, and he got a dead ball technical in this one, and it was clear and obvious that he just kicked Cadeau in the balls. Like,
Yeah,
there was no hiding it. And once again, the easiest one to go back to is Grayson Allen at Duke. It happened in 2 games, and whatever your opinion of K is and letting him go, Grayson got sat. Fears hasn't seen a minute lost over this, and like that is really dropping the respect I had for Izzo quite a bit. Like, I don't know.
it's so obvious.
Yeah, like,
Like it's bad. Like he's the most hated player in the country right now.
yeah, like, you know what? Like, I'm not. I was never the cleanest player in the world, but if I caught like somebody doing that to my teammate, next time he comes through the lane, I've got an F2. I can go home early. That's fine. I'm not that needed.
That's right.
There's going to be an elbow to the face. Like Gerald Henderson and Tyler Hansbrough. Henderson dropped an elbow on him. I mean, that was really bad. But like,
Right.
you know, if you did that to Fears, it's probably not going to be. You're not going to catch near as much heat as Henderson did,
Yeah.
because it's so obvious what he's doing. Like, he's not hiding it, or like, like, oh, I was off balance and accidentally, like, I mean, it's straight out of the Draymond Green playbook. And hey, where'd Draymond Green go to school?
I know, right?
Huh?
And I
No,
thought about this the other day.
no, like,
Yes.
it's like, I don't know. That's something needs to be done. And he's like, and they've got an easy route here. Sit him in the Big Ten tournament. You don't need it. You're in, and you're solidly in. Lose one game to a decent team. It's not going to hurt you, because everybody's going to point to Fears not being there. Just
What could be something like,
get some of the heat off of it.
and what'll be annoying is if they just said it for like the first half or something dumb, which I wouldn't be surprised, honestly. That I can maybe even see that happening. But I mean, they need to start finding these kids if they're going to do something like this.
Well, the thing is, you can't institute that fine rule, because like Fears getting several million. Yeah, fine him a couple thousand. That's gonna hurt. But
Oh, that's true too.
But when you get down to like Mississippi Valley State, man, you find those dudes a couple thousand, they might have to go work at the
Then
camp for a couple weeks to get
it's
that thing off. Like,
reset the collections.
yeah, like, that dude's gonna be selling sneakers, and then we got the whole issue again. Like,
That's true. That's true. It's funny. Work at the calf. Yeah. Listen, UConn, we called this. UConn,
let's just say I'm chagrin. We were told about this the whole time.
yeah, UConn blew the chance at a potential getting a number 1 seed. Still going to be a number 2 seed. Not too shabby. But just a really, really poor performance, and Hurley getting the boot.
Which that was the stupidest boot ever. The game was
That
over.
was
How can you say somebody got ejected if the game was over? He got
I
asked to leave
completely
the
agree. I
arena.
was
He's
like,
already leaving. Like, okay, you can't fire me.
and
I
if
quit.
they, yeah, well, and the whole, if he truly bumped him, he would be either got suspended, and there's not even an ounce of talk of that's going to happen.
Yeah, that's that. That's foolish. Foolish. As for theater, is all that is.
Yeah.
But UConn's troubles offense, man. They have not been a superstar offensive team, and it's really shown up here lately. Like, I mean, in Marquette, 3 of 24 from deep. You're not going to beat hardly any teams doing that. And I mean, their last 5 games, they're averaging 72 points a game, 72 points a game, and the average and the NCAA is about 74 points. So they're 2 points less than the typical average. So that means your defense has got to be ultra elite to hold some teams well below average, an average college basketball team score to win this. And I mean, it showed up. They've lost 2 of the last 5, and majority of those have been very close. And they may have even lost the St. John's game if St. John's figures out
Mm-hmm.
that they don't go 0 for 24 in a stretch because you can blame a good chunk of that on the defense, but some of that's just bad luck. So like, I don't know.
Sure.
I mean, Hurley's a great coach. There's a lot of talent here, but I don't know. Like, I'm out on them winning a title. Like, I think the league, college basketball is too deep this year. You've got 3 teams that are juggernauts with Arizona, Michigan, and Duke. The chances that you don't see 1 or 2 of those is rare. Is it's going to be very hard to do, and you're going to have to be very offensively talented to get through those. All 3 of them play great defense. All 3 of them have a very good offense. So you cannot have nights like this out there. I mean, even Florida's a different team from when UConn played them early, and I mean that was a tight game. This team's never been elite offensively.
Mm-hmm.
The blowouts they have are against tiny teams, or they got randomly hot. It's not been like when you saw Duke. Like, Duke could have beat North Carolina about 30 if they wanted to, but they pulled off the gas a little bit this
Mm-hmm.
weekend, and like they just systematically stretched it and stretched it and stretched it. And Michigan's done that to teams, and Arizona's done that to teams. UConn really, they got real hot, or they pulled themselves out of the fire with some clutch shots. Now they have a coach that can get them with a chance. They've got the talent. I mean, if Mullins is hot, like, that was part of the issue. Is he was like 1 for 10 in this game, and we've seen too many games like that. He's got the talent to do it, but I mean, solo ball's not been great this year. Demery ebbs and flows. Terrence Reed has been probably the most consistent. And Caravan's even had a lot of bad games in this stretch. It's just, honestly, like, we always play this game. Who's the highest? Like, who's the first 1 or 2 seed to lose? I think UConn would be pretty high up there. Just like, let's say they grab the 2 seed, that means they're getting a 7 or a 10 in the second round.
Mm-hmm.
That, like, I mean, those teams aren't terrible, and you catch the wrong one who's hot. I mean, because Marquette, I don't think Marquette's even sniffing, maybe not even the NIT this year, and they lost to that one. That Providence should have got them. I think both times they played them. Seton Hall should have, and these teams aren't even in the tournament. And now, like, Creighton, like, they're on the well outside, needs a lot of things to go their way, but got them. Like,
True.
it's not just on the road; they're struggling away from home. They lost at home, they lost to neutral, they lost on the road. Like, this team has some glaring weaknesses that's being covered up by a name and a coach who everybody has their faith in. But coach can only do so much. The guys on the floor have to do something.
Well, and there's also some experience on this team, and I think that can help. But at the same time, they've been so anemic in some areas that make them so vulnerable and really not hard to figure out. Like, there's not really much of a mystery with the team. Does that make sense?
Yeah. But like the championship teams, when they went back to back, they had elite guards and a big guy, a couple big guys that could just dominate games. I mean, Klingon was incredible.
Oh yeah.
Sonoma, whatever, from that first team. It's crazy, but you also had guys like Cam Spencer and that were out there doing their thing, and Stephen Castle, and like was ABA Rookie of the Year, and he had, I forget who his back guard was. Like, those teams were otherworldly talented, and they showed it. This team is not otherworldly talented. They couldn't even win their own conference, and so, like,
Yeah.
I don't understand why UConn is getting national title love when they can't even win the Big East. So they're like, who historically down Big East, like 3 bids
Right.
by the skin of their teeth, like with Villanova. Like, and I think you can argue Villanova doesn't deserve it. So you're looking at St. John's and UConn, and then me, like, Villanova eking in. No, there's nobody else
Yeah.
close.
So if you had to give it a verdict right now, for UConn? What's their ceiling?
I think the ceiling's Elite Eight. I don't see them getting farther than that, and I think that's putting some weight behind Hurley. I could
Yeah.
very easily see this team going out in the round of 32. Like, and it'll be in a close game, and it'll be
Mhm.
pitched as this great upset, and I don't know that it's that great upset that we're thinking it is.
Right.
Even in Ken Pong, like if you want to go by those like metrics, they're outside the top 10. They're just above Nebraska and below Gonzaga. So I don't know that we consider that a giant upset to lose
Right.
out of 32. Just their name is carrying a lot of weight here.
Well, yeah, that'll be interesting to see. We'll see how they finish things out. I kind of would love to see it. Soon to get knocked out early, but you never know with Hurley. You never know what he could pull out. I think he's one of the top guys in the game. We will see what happens. So, this is kind of the next topic here. This is pretty interesting. Should mid majors give auto bids to regular season champions? What are some of the pros and cons of that? Or that's something you disagree with completely?
So no, I don't know if I'm totally say I'm for this, but something's got to happen because it's such a money thing, and now college sports are such a money because you get a giant chunk of change for your conference and for your school for every game you get to play in the NCAA tournament, and that includes the playing game. So that's why you see those 16 seeds not want to give up that game in the play-in game because that's money for their conference, it's money for the school for them getting that, and then like a win gets them more money than like just appearing. So that's why you see these conference tournaments for mid majors do crazy things like reseeding or having a super
Hmm.
extended bracket with guys getting like 6 buys and trying to protect their top teams to have their best chance be one of their teams. And like, for instance, Navy and Belmont are great examples of this. Navy
Perfect.
wins the conference by 6 games. They are by far the best team in that conference. Now they got upset, and if you watch it, whoever's on the clock probably cost that conference a lot of money because Navy might have had a chance of doing something because they forgot to start the clock, and the guy
Yep.
gets to half court to shoot a buzzer beater to win the game. But either way, now Navy's done because of not really a like they didn't play their best 40 minutes of ball, but they're done, and the conference is going to be sending at best the 2 seed of who was 6 games behind them. And then Belmont plays a terrible 40 minutes, but they won Missouri Valley, who's had teams go 2-3 games deep in the
Oh
NCAA
yeah.
tournament. They won this game, they won this conference by 3 games, and now they're at home because they had the worst 40 minutes of their year at the wrong time.
Hmm.
Part of that, but at the same, I get it from like an audience standpoint. Love it, love tournament ball, so much fun because you get
Sure.
stuff like this. But when you're talking to these mid-major teams where that money each round means a lot and can do a lot and help level the playing field, maybe keep a couple players that would be going somewhere else. That hurts, and so something like you want to change something somehow. I like the regular season because I mean, that's your best team. No matter
Yeah.
which way you look at it. If you win the regular season, you're the best team in that conference. But you've got to do something's got to change because like conference tournaments generate good amount of money for these conferences. Like you want to do something there, and the neutral, like the drama of it and the excitement of those games and having buzzer beaters. Like, I mean, the Big South about had a huge mistake with Charleston Southern absolutely should have beat a Winthrop, but they didn't.
Yep.
It took a miracle play by Winthrop, but
Hmm.
something's got to be done. Where do you land on this?
From being from the mid-major world, so much as it is put on the tournament where it can revitalize you. It's like the second season, where you, as a player or as a program, it does kind of revitalize you and that opportunity to go into a tournament. But for the overall, if I was a conference guy more than a program guy, I absolutely would want to give the regular season champs the
Maybe,
bid. I mean,
maybe we do
that's the
something.
money.
Maybe the best thing is to do is like your regular season and your tournament champion. If they end up being different, you play a 1 game playoff to see who goes. And if your regular season champion wins your tournament, you don't have to worry about it. Like just something like that to you give that team that earned it for 20 games this year a shot
Yeah.
for your conferences. I mean, like, if you have a run like Oregon State the year we were talking about with Tennessee, who was I think like the 12th seed in their tournament and went all the way and won, like you talking about a 10 seed, like the Sun Belt. The
Mhm.
Sun Belt is in the guys running that conference are getting questionable because they did that super extended, like I think Troy and whoever finished second there had like 4 or 5 buys, something crazy like that.
Yeah,
And now you've got the 8th and 10th seed in your semifinals where you've got to like there's a world out there where your 8th and 10th seed continue to get hot or stay hot and they're playing in the championship and then you've got nobody in your top 4 seeds of your conference make the tournament. Like that, it's great. It's a great story. It's fun to watch. Now, who am I cheering for? I'm going to be cheering for Georgia Southern, thanks to the 10th seed. Um, like I think that's fun, but
yeah.
it's not the best for the Sun Belt, and that's where you land. I don't know. Something's got to change.
Or do something like, I believe it's the OVC that has they only have there's not all teams are in the tournament,
Yeah,
conference tournament. I
yeah,
mean, that
and
could get closer.
yeah,
Um,
like, the SEC does that for baseball. Like a lot of baseball conferences do that.
yeah,
They do like double elimination and things, so that works too. There's just some kind of change to like limit the exposure of your teams that earn a high seed for 20 games out of the year and are gone in a bad 40 minutes or in Navy's case a bad 3.6 seconds.
exactly. Well, and I think this kind of leads to another kind of a add-on, tack-on question here. This is mainly just like your opinion for you that how much do you like for Tennessee, for example? Maybe not as much for Duke, but for Tennessee, I'm still in the boat where we have so much to gain and so much to add to our history to be able to be really all in on the NCAA tournament. I'm still excited about winning the conference championship, whether it's season or tournament at this point. I almost care more about that than I do the NCAA tournament. Now, if I'm like Duke, where I'm in the contention every single year for the ACC, that could be a little bit different. But I feel like for the SEC, the conference means so much. I still take that very seriously. But there's a lot of people, even people around here in local radio, that are like, "Who cares about the conference tournament?" And that's just, hey, if you get bounced, hey, that's just more time to get ready for the NCAA tournament. And I'm just like, I just can't get behind that. It just blows my mind.
It's not that I don't care about the SEC tournament. It is more of like this year specifically. If we are dealing with a sickness that everybody's saying we were like what I was hearing, and I meant like I don't want the extra games right now. I want to get healthy for because we're in the NCAA tournament. Like, that's not a question. Now, last year or the Dalton Connect year when we were fighting for a 1 seed, and if we win it all, it's likely we get the 1 seed. Like Tennessee's never been the 1 seed, so if there's something to
Right.
gain from it, I want it all the way through. Give it to me. But right now, the only thing to gain is maybe correct your shots. But if you're dealing with a sickness with guys on IVs on the sideline, like I don't know how much that does for you.
Sure.
Especially if you're playing. Now we got to play 3 games if we win it all. So that's now you're looking at 9 games inside. Like there's just so much more chances for something to go wrong. If I were like Florida or Kentucky, I probably don't care about this as much. But like if you haven't ever won the SEC tournament, you're going to want it. But we've won
Yeah.
it in relatively recent memory, and there's not. I don't think because once again the SEC kind of kills themselves. I think they finish on the Sunday as well. You're not your last game that matters in the committee is the semifinal game anyway.
That's
Like
right.
because your seed's already decided at that point. Like you're not getting any arguments in, so just don't care that much. It's not that I don't care about it at all. It's just not that worried about it. I'd rather see us going
Yeah.
healthy in the tournament that we haven't won and we haven't seen the Final Four in the semifinals. I want to see that more than I want another SEC banner.
Yeah. I understand that. So for our rapid fire section here, we've got the Texas Tech and at BYU.
Yeah, the shocking thing here is the how much the defense has dropped off. So
So much.
the offense is carrying some water. Like the struggles are happening that we thought. Like LeJon Watts, that's disappointing all year. That's not changed. At first, you were able to excuse it with the ball sitting in Anderson and Toppin's hands, but now there's no Toppin, and his production hasn't changed. It maybe even got worse. But Anderson and Petty, I think they both hit 6 threes. This offense didn't struggle that much. It was defensively and rebound. They're not able to clear possessions, so you're not able to rebound, which makes sense without Toppin. But they're
Mhm.
not playing like there's no I mean, they're giving up a lot of points here again. They lost two, and it's not like it's not like BYU played in a fantastic game where they were. I mean, Debanza had 20, I think, but he took a bunch of shots. It was just they out rebounded them, and they were cleaning up everything. It's just like I don't know, Kendrick Davis. I know BYU was at home, so they shoot a little bit better. I mean, like getting out rebounded by 7, giving up 20 offensive boards is crazy. The one block,
Yeah.
you're turning the ball over more. You're not forcing turnovers. The defense dropped off more than I expected it to, and that is going to be a big issue for them going forward, and it's going to be very limiting. And it's doing nothing but giving the committee more reasons for you to not get that 3 seed, maybe 4 seed that you earned.
Well, and Texas Tech, I felt like is very much kind of opposite from the Purdue side of things, where you've got some great athletes and I mean some really physical guys that can get to play that kind of defense, but it just really has taken a hit.
It's also shocking. Grant McCastle is a great defensive coach too, and so
Right.
that's shocking a little bit as well.
What about Arkansas and Missouri? Mainly, was Cal benching Acuff insane or genius?
The fact that they won without him is impressive and
I
really hurt
completely agree.
Mizzou. But I'm sitting him for an like there was a lot to gain for Arkansas on the line here, and sitting him is the attitude that you're talking about. Like, who cares about the SEC tournament? We just want to play the big tournament, and that I don't know that there's more of an attitude that fits Calipari than that.
Yeah.
But I mean, props to him for pulling it off, winning in overtime. That hurts Missouri. Missouri had a lot to gain there and had an absolutely golden opportunity, and just dropped the ball. But I don't know. Like I don't know. It's going to be. We'll see. The result. I hate when we judge coaches like this, even ones such as Cal. But the results are going to absolutely determine if this is the right call or not. Because if they go out and they lose in the first round or the second round, it looks like a bad decision, or like it looks like it wasn't worth
Sure.
it, so you changed it. But especially if they get bounced in the first game of the SEC tournament, like I don't know, it's going to be one of those that because they played the first like at noon, so they're like if they would have lost the game, they had to watch Tennessee and Kentucky to see what was going on there because I think they would have lost those tiebreakers and been knocked out of the double bye scenario. Like luckily for them, both those teams lost, so
Yeah.
it worked out in Cal's favor because he's sold his soul to the devil a long time ago.
Yes, that is a fact. So let's go into some projections here and do some predictions. What seeds are you seeing? Or are we kind of keeping an eye out for Purdue and for Tennessee?
This is going to get interesting because I'm kind of where I think Purdue might be looking at a full like okay in my mind the last so many games you play if they don't do um like if they don't do well in the Big Ten tournament I think you might be looking at a 4 seed, which is wild to think about where this team was a while ago. Because right now on like ESPN's got them at the 3 seed,
Mhm.
which if I'm Purdue, I don't want the 3 seed because you don't want Matt Painter to collect the 14th seed upset. But right below them at the 4 seed lines, you have, Lord, I'm losing them. Gonzaga, I don't think they're going to jump up for Virginia. If they beat Duke, there's an argument for them to jump up there. Texas Tech and Kansas. So, like, you've got teams playing all around you that have chances to jump up. And if you don't do well in the Big Ten tournament, which I think you got dropped to 7th, so you've got not an easy route whatsoever. And you're
No.
not playing that well. I think 3 is probably where they land, but very easily could see a 4 seed, especially if the committee is like me and would value the last 10 or so games that you played
Mhm.
more so than the first 10. The not like Purdue's last 10 games is not anything to brag about at the moment because they're 2-4 in the last 6 with losses to Michigan State, Ohio State, and Wisconsin, and then you beat Nebraska in overtime at Nebraska. That's a decent one, and then Iowa. But like the Oregon and Maryland games aren't doing you any good, and then that was after a 3-game stretch where you lost to UCLA, Illinois, and Indiana. So like the last part of the season has not gone well. Like Sam said, like this team turned into a different team at the turn of the calendar year. So the last image you're giving is not great. I mean, Tennessee's got the same route. Tennessee's sitting at a 5 seed right now, and I don't think they deserve that at all. I think it is much more likely we see Tennessee as a 6 or 7 when this all shakes out. But because I mean, they've got to be so right now the other 5 seeds that ESPN has Arkansas and Vandy, who we split with Vandy. Arkansas beat us, and then you come down to St. John's. Like St. John's won their conference. Tennessee is nowhere near winning their conference,
Mm-hmm.
and like succeeds like BYU, who just beat Texas Tech, Louisville, who once again has a shot to do something in the ACC tournament. Wisconsin, who's just coming off the Purdue win and has a chance in the Big Ten tournament. And then I don't think North Carolina will jump them because no Caleb Wilson really limits them. But you've got three
Mm-hmm.
teams there that are very easily jump you, and you're got to be sitting as the worst 5 seed. So if anybody jumps up, you're the first one knocked down. So I could see this team sitting at 6 or 7, and they very easily could, like, once again, that's a better mid-major team you're grabbing,
Yep.
possibly power 4 team, and then then that's a rough second round too, especially if it up 7-10. You're looking at the 2 there, which is going to be a very, very tough matchup no matter who that is. So it's not a comfortable place to be in, but I'm saying 6 or 7 for Tennessee. I don't think they finished with a 5.
Yeah. 6 is where I was landing. I don't think 5 will happen. I don't think we're going to do enough to get above it, and I think there's other teams that have a chance to actually do something about it.
Well, especially like if you're Barnes, if so, let's say a mint goes from doubtful to like probable. Do you risk him in the
Mm-hmm.
SEC tournament in a game that doesn't necessarily matter? See, like this is like it doesn't matter in the standpoint for your next round. Like at some point, you've got to have the honest conversation. The chances that we win this are 30%.
Yeah.
Is risking Nate Ament retweaking that ankle, knee, whatever it is that is actually hurt on him, worth a 30% chance that you win this all? Like I don't know, because you want him to get a game or 2 in on it, but at the same time, you don't want to do that game and then all of a sudden he lands on somebody's foot and now you don't have him for the tournament that matters. Like
Yeah.
that's the kind of bind that Rick Barnes is going to be in, and he's going to go for the conference tournament, and so he'll play him if he's able to go. And knowing Tennessee luck, he'll land
I
on a
think so
foot,
too.
be done, and not want to risk it. And then we'll also lose Gillespie somehow. He'll get hit by a car on the way to the game or something, and that's just Tennessee's luck.
It does feel like we are cursed in that way, that's for sure.
Yep.
And then I'll be honest with you. Every year I try to get this figured out and understand like the science behind it, but the determining of what region teams land in, I feel like is so hard and it's been so wonky.
So
Do
the way,
you have any kind of
yeah. So like, all right. So
idea?
each pocket, right? Like you're like if you're looking at it right now, the East region like is going to go Duke's way because at this point Duke's the number 1 overall seed, so they get their region.
Yeah,
And then like Michigan is going to get the closest region to them that's not Duke's region because they're going to be the number 2 overall seed, or Arizona the same way. Like so, like the higher your seed, the better you are, and then like the better you are of the group of 4 that is that seed, the more
yeah,
likely you are to get your region. So like your number 1 overall seed always gets the region that's closest to their house that's available. That's
right,
where you're going to see. That's why you're going to see Duke in the East
right,
region getting to play green, and then that goes down to the next level where you're playing your first 2, which they're going to get to play in Greenville. So like because that's closest to their house and they're the highest ranked seed. But like even if you're looking at the San Diego one in that same region, you've got Texas Tech going out there, which is probably they're the closest one to that because they play like right now it's set up to Arkansas, South Florida, and Stephen F. Austin. But and then so
hmm,
that's like it's a narrow down thing. You go, okay, who's the best team? Where do they rank in their group of
right,
4? That's and then which is closest to their house that they can play in. And so when you look at the S curve, right, like if you're on this end of the S curve, you're just getting what's left over. So when it comes to the 1
yeah,
seeds, if your worst is going to be Florida, they're like it's working out great for them right now because they're sort of playing Houston because Arizona's a 1 seed and they're going to get the West bracket, but nobody's getting something that they don't necessarily want because like if you're Florida, you wanted the East or the South, they're going to get the South because Duke's going to want the East.
yep,
Then Michigan, you're going to want the Midwest because you were in the Midwest, and of course Arizona wants the West. But like
hmm,
last year, if you had 2, like if you're looking at 2 SEC teams as 1 seeds, like where you rank in that matters because that's you're going to play closer to your house. Like the Elite 8 that was here in Indy last year, you had what Kentucky was a couple hours away. Tennessee 5 hours away. Houston was the highest seed and ended up having the longest trip because of how it worked out. But that's unfortunate sometimes when you start getting upsets and things. But they also drew Purdue. So that
Right.
really sucked for Houston, but they handled the business.
Yep.
So it's just one of those that they try to do it their best. It's the highest seed getting the one closest to their house.
So where is Tennessee projected right now?
Currently, ESPN has like just because it was the easiest to find. Tennessee would be playing in Portland, Oregon,
That's what
with
I thought. That's what I read.
with Gonzaga being the 4 seed.
Right.
So losing the 5 seed might not be that bad because your other 5 seeds, like, because this is how you can tell that they're easily the worst 5 seed. They're getting like Vandy's also going out to Portland, Arkansas is going to San Diego, and St. John's is going to Tampa. So they've all got a bit of a drive, but
Mm-hmm.
St. John's and Virginia are your 5 and 4 seeds in Tampa. You've got Arkansas, Texas Tech, and San Diego. That's both of them driving a bit. Vandy and Kansas are driving a bit to Portland, but Gonzaga's getting to play in their backyard, who should be us in the second round. So like that's you can easily tell where people are kind of ranking on their S curve because how much they get to determine where the game's at.
Sure.
Well, maybe dropping down a seed line wouldn't be the worst thing to go from the worst 5 to the best 6. So maybe get something a little closer to home, but at the same time, you're a 6 seed. You're not going to get to determine that.
Right. Right. So we kind of talked about this earlier, but uh, actually, there's two here for our bench behavior. We've got Michigan State and the fear situation. That's the first one. We've already kind of talked about it, but there.
If he's not literally benched for at least a game, the Michigan State program is in a different.
Yes, no, I agree. It's too blatant. There's too many. There's too. It's too. And nowadays, it's so clippable. Like where those things just circulate so much. I mean, it's just a bad look. And it gets pointed out, it highlighted so drastically.
Somebody in Michigan had a sign said he was the DPOY Dirtiest Player of the Year candidate. So like that's like, oh, that was clever. Like it's going to kill him for postseason awards too, because when you get down to deciding your first team All American and you're splitting hairs and anything that can happen, like anything that can set you down a step. Well, obviously you go from first team All American to second team All American because like, hey, we can pick this guy who's just as good but didn't have these issues.
Right. That's a good point. I hadn't thought about that. That's a very good point. And to take away from him, like he is such a talented player. It's just dirty.
Yep.
It's a dirty dude. No, I completely agree. And then the next misbehavior is just the clock issues that we're having. I mean, what are we doing? The one that you
That was Navy and
the Navy game, yeah,
Boston, I
that
think.
absolutely should have never happened. I mean, yeah, maybe the kid made the half court shot, but I mean, he got at least 3 steps, maybe even
He got
three and a half, 4
almost a half court. Like if you haven't seen the play, tie game, Navy guy inbounds it with like there's like 5 seconds, there's 8 seconds left. They inbound it, he takes it to the hole, lays it in up 2 points. Like didn't get fouled or anything. He lays it in. There ends up being 3.6 on the clock. Boston, I think it was Boston, inbounds it, and the clock doesn't start till the guy's like past the 3 point arc. And then he gets one dribble past the half court line and shoots it, makes it, they win. Great shot, not taking away the shot counted. He shouldn't have been able to get it off. It shouldn't have happened. Whoever was running the clock had the slowest finger in the world. He got caught watching. The fact that the conference doesn't have like some legitimate professional there or some kind of recourse, because like of all the things we can challenge, I feel like this should have been very easily challengeable. Like, hey, like, no, because it determines so much in a tournament format. Like, hey, that clock didn't start on time. Like, we review shot clocks all the time. We review game clocks for when it goes in and out, but we can't review when this one starts because it determined the game. Like, the conference as a whole, that is garbage. And, like, Navy absolutely got jobbed on losing that. But then again, if you win the conference by 6 games, should you have been in a situation where you need a buzzer beater?
correct.
I don't know, but Miami of Ohio gets credit for all those wins because they win them in overtime, and nobody wants to say like, "Hey, maybe they're not as good as what we think they are because they're 31." So like, it's one of those that should they have been in that scenario? Probably not, but at the same time, they won the game. I think because I don't think the guy makes it if you're moving 30 feet back or moving 10 feet back, which is probably where he had to shoot it from if the clock starts on time. But he himself did nothing wrong. He saw the clock, how much time he had, made the adjustment he made, like and scores it. Props to him. Nothing we can do about it now, but that definitely should be reviewable. And the conference, that's sad as a conference because you're hurting yourself.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Um, and speaking about getting hurt, looks like coach is about to hurt us if we don't get in there and get things going.
Yeah. All right. We'll catch y'all next blowout.
See y'all.